gonna have you face the wall, actually, right? You don't mind? Excellent. And now we can actually come back, sorry. Perfect, my fault. So we're here, we're in an open turtle. And he starts at 4 points. I can lock my body lock, coming up high to the chest and shoulders. And now I'm gonna circle and run in the right direction as I hit the spiral line. And we end up right here in our breakdown, our hip breakdown. And now from the hip breakdown, it's up to you how you want to go through and actually score and get control. So those are a couple good options for the for the 4-point position. Either hooks in first, break them down second, or break them down first, hooks in second. Now let's look at a couple other escape options that my partner also has. We've looked at these in the past, so I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. But you got to be ready for it. And that's ashigarami rolls and a centerline pummel with the arm. Let's look at an ashigarami roll first. I'm going to have you face sideways. If I'm lazy with my foot and I leave my foot here somewhere near the center of Graydon's feet, Graydon can roll through, grab my leg, and he can start to put me into various other variations of ashigarami, and now he can attack my leg. And that's no good for me. I was in a position where I almost had the back, and now I'm worried about getting my leg broken. So the key to not getting a leg locked is to keep both of your legs out from the inside position. If you can't do that, you're gonna put both legs into the inside position. And have you put your butt toward the camera? If I have one leg here relatively inside, just start the process of grading. Stop. Okay, my foot, he's now put my foot in between his feet. Go back. Now, he did that, I didn't. I can put my foot here where I'm not really between his feet, but I'm close. And if Graydon just pummels his feet, boom. Now I'm starting to get attacked, okay? So you don't want to keep one leg in and one leg out. So when I'm here, if I ever see Graydon starting to try to control my leg, I'm going to do what I can to pummel to the outside position and I make a hook. And I keep my leg on the outside. If you were to try to complete his ashigarami roll with my leg on the outside, he gives me the flank position. As long as I don't let him strip this foot over his leg. If he's able to pull this leg through, that's bad. But if I can make a sticky hook behind his hamstring and he goes to pull this through, and I keep that thing sticky, stuck, keep it on the floor so he can't pass his leg underneath my foot, I can just come in and I can start to force the flank position. And now from the flank position, we can start to climb up and go into our attacking positions. So that was an example of keeping your foot out from the inside position. If you ever see him try to roll, I want you to develop the reflex of pummeling that leg. One more time. This time, don't hook and grab so much, just go for the roll, okay? Next time here, he's gonna go for that roll. I pummel. Go back again. If I leave it right here, go ahead. If I don't pummel, I'm caught. When I feel him start to roll, I pummel right here. Now I'm not between his legs, it's going to be hard for him to attack, and I have the flank position. From the flank position, we can work the pass. Okay, what if he does capture my leg? Well, I certainly don't want my leg to be isolated between his legs. So if he gets one of my legs so stuck that I can't pummel it out, I'm going to shove the second one in so that he doesn't have one of my legs isolated, so he's fighting against both of my legs instead of just one of them. If I'm in here, and he goes for that leg, and he starts, oh shoot, he's starting to get my leg. I'm going to take my left foot here, and I'm going to pummel it right here. I make a little hook inside his knee. So now as he pinches his knees together and tries to lock my leg, as he grabs my leg here, I can use my foot here, hooking on the inside, on the bottom leg, and I can thumb post on the top leg, and as he tries to get me into an ashigarami or starts to try to attack my leg, I can slip my knee. Now that my knee is free, I'm going to peel my foot out. I can come back up, and now I could try to get to the flank position, or at this point, he very well might re-guard as well. That's a real possibility. If he was able to isolate my leg and put me into a defensive cycle, he might be able to recover guard. If he's good enough to do that, he might be good enough to recover guard. So Just be happy to get your leg broken in that scenario. So again, he's able to isolate one of the legs. We're going to shove our second leg in there, and we're going to use the combined power of one leg on the bottom leg and our front post on the top leg to pry our knee clear from his legs. I'm here, I make a mistake. I leave my leg there. So now from here I'm going to take my left foot and pummel my left foot inside. I can't pummel this out, it's too caught. So I pummel this one inside. I sit my thumb post. Now from here, as he tries to pull my leg in, I'm going to pull my knee past outside of his leg. Now from right here, he's going to try to recover, and I'm going to be trying to get in to the pocket of the hip. As much as possible. I'm going to try to get tight to the pocket of the hip so he can't bring his legs back in between me and him. We did see the near side Garcia roll, and that is an option. You can try to bait the Ashigarami in order to get him to roll into an unathletic position. Same position. If he's here, remember he's in an athletic position. It's very easy for him to move. When he goes into a roll for an Ashigarami, go ahead and do it without me there. He puts his own shoulders and hips on the floor. So he takes his own athleticism away from himself. So there's some instances where I'm here, and I bait the Ashigarami, he goes to go for it, I go with him. And we can end up right here, almost in a seated breakdown. And then from here, we just look to start putting our hooks in. That one's a little more, you gotta be a little more advanced. You gotta have your timing down, you gotta be ready and anticipating that leg lock. But that can be a way to get him to expose his back and to get him to take himself out of an athletic position, is to bait the Ashigarami and go into a near side Garcia roll. There's one more thing that he might try to do, and that's pummel this arm back across my center line. Remember that in order for me to have that, can you space me? Yep. Just in order for me to take his back, I need to get his arm across my center line. If I can take his arm across my center line, I now have access to the back. Braden knows that down in Turtle. So when I'm in here, let's face the camera. As long as I stay behind this arm, as long as I keep this arm this way across my center line, I'm okay. If he pummels this arm to this side of my center line again, I no longer have the back. If I try to take the back at this point, he's going to put me down. So the first thing I like to do, if he's got an open turtle, I don't want that arm to get back across my center line, is I can wedge something inside the elbow, tight to the armpit. I can do this with my arm. I can go here and I can take a wrist ride. So if he tries to pummel that arm across my center line now, he can't because I'm inside and behind the elbow. I can also do it with my knee. I can do it with either knee. I can do it with my right knee. I come here. Look how sometimes when I do this, I even touch my hand to my own knee because I have almost a closed set of wedges around his torso. If he tries to pummel this arm between me and him now, he tries to find any space. How about close to the body? Nothing. As opposed, if I'm out here, he can now get that thing between me and him. Yes, that's a problem. So by wedging either my arm here or my straight knee and getting my hip tight to his shoulder here, very tough for him to pummel that elbow. Another option I can do is my cross knee. We haven't looked at this much yet, but it's a good strategy. I can take my left knee in. And again, look at how I connect my hand to my own knee. So now when he tries to pummel this arm across, it's going to be very difficult. Furthermore, from this position, we're going to see in the future how I can start isolating his arm, controlling this arm, and this is almost like a straitjacket. And now I can start going in, and I can start setting chokes from here. I can attack the arm. We're going to see a number of options where I can attack the crucifix from here. Okay? In fact, I think we might have touched on that a little bit last week in the video. So if you're worried about somebody who's a good wrestler, and you're worried about them pummeling that arm back across the center line to force me into a front turtle so you can wrestle, can you do that and then go into wrestling for me? If he can pummel this arm through, get into my legs, and now he can start taking me down, yes, bad thing for me. So I want to stay behind and inside that elbow, either with my arm, my straight knee, or even my cross knee in some circumstances. Now, what if we got somebody who's playing more closed again? What if he's got this elbow really tight to his hip? I can't get my hand inside. I can't get my knee inside, either knee. When you have something like this happen, you see this elbow is very tight, do not let your hips go in front of the elbow. I have to keep my hips here behind the elbow. Rotate like 45 degrees, right there. If I let my hips stay in front, if I let my hips ride in front of the elbow, if I'm here, he can pummel his arm to the back side of me and he can start to wrestle. It's all about the elbow. If I see he's really tight and I can't get inside the elbow with my hand or inside the elbow with my knee, I like to stay here so my hips are behind the elbow. If he tries to turn and face me to pummel the elbow in, I'm just going to move with him. Okay, if I stay where he is, if I stay where I'm at, he starts to rotate, he can start to pummel that arm across. And that's going to be an issue for me. So as much as possible, keep a wedge behind and inside the elbow. And if you can't keep a wedge behind and inside the elbow, you're going to keep your hips behind the elbow. Right here. I'm not going to come up here with my hips in front of the elbow. That's no good. I'm going to stay back behind the elbow, just like so. He tries to get me with this arm. Good. He tries to turn and face me. I never let that elbow get, never go past the elbow. Now, what if he does get that elbow in front of me? What if I'm a day late and $1 short? I'm here, and he starts getting that. Now we're gonna go into a front headlock. I'm gonna put on a whizzer with my left arm because he's now basically into an underhook. Remember our underhook, our single leg, think about from the half guard position when they come up on an underhook. Anytime they get in an underhook or single leg, we wanna put this whizzer in. Whether he's up on a tight waist like so, or whether he's down on a single leg, doesn't matter. We put in this whizzer. From here, I'm gonna start to push and stuff the head down. So if he tries to posture up and wrestle, it's not easy. I start to sprawl my body weight away, and I'm gonna turn this into a front headlock, where I connect my arms around his head and one of his arms like so. Now we're not getting into the front headlock too much today yet. This is just a brief introduction to it. That front headlock comes with a lot of submission opportunities. There are many variations of guillotines. There are many variations of figure fours. We can lock a cradle, or in some instances from the front headlock, I can just get back behind the elbow. Remember, let's say if I'm here and he pummels this elbow between me and him, if I get back around that elbow, I'm right back into a top turtle. If I can get behind and inside the elbow, I'm right back into my top turtle. So that's another option here. So we got a front headlock. Okay. Up here, he pummels the arm, a whizzer, cover the head, and front headlock. From here, we're going to see a number of different guillotine opportunities. We're going to see figure four choke opportunities, and go behinds and such. But essentially what I'm telling you is we're transitioning to another system. We went from a rear turtle system, which we just got done creating and constructing and learning. And then we're going to go into a front headlock system, which is an entire new part of the game, and one that we're going to be fast approaching. We're learning the front headlock and all the ins and outs of it in just a few short months. So that was a good way to introduce you to it from that rear turtle. If your opponent turns and faces you, jump on the head and the arm, and start to threaten submissions and chokes, or maybe go back to the rear turtle again. So that's basically the long and short of it. When you have somebody who's playing an open turtle, be ready for them to try to stand up, be ready for them to 4 point, be ready for them to go into attacks that involve a wide base. Okay? They might go into Ashigarami rolls, or they might try to turn and face you and wrestle. These are all good options they might try to do, and it's going to be your responsibility to be ready for each of them and be ready to intercept them. If they try to stand up, here, take them to the side of the downed knee. To the side of the downed knee. If they just go here, attack the neck. If they stand up and they go 4 point, you can either put in asymmetrical hooks, or you can lock a rear chest lock and spiral ride to break it down, and then attack from there. so many good opportunities. Now it's up to you to, now that you know what they are, get out on the mats, grab a partner, play with them a little bit, and get a little better at it. Thanks for watching, guys.